GM, Lindsay, Alex, everybody who's joining us. Make sure you're tuning in over there on Twitch, 1H TV. We're going to do a walkthrough here, I know, and have some good visuals for you there. You can follow along if you got your own wallet connected here. But welcome, Lindsay. How you doing, man?
What's up? How are you? How are you, T Wells? Good to be here.
Dude.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect.
Cool. Long time no see, huh?
Dude, I think it's been since Denver that we haven't spoken since then. It was awesome, man, to
It was so
spend
cool.
some time
Roomy.
there. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I know. That was a lot of fun. I wasn't there as long as you were, but a good time, not a long time, you know?
Exactly. I think I'm going to keep it that way going forward.
You had a good time and a long time.
I got fucking wrecked, man, at the end there. I brought something home. It wasn't COVID. I thought it was, but it was a 24-hour thing, but it knocked me out pretty hard there on the very last day, and then same for my wife and my son. They were none too happy with me.
I'm sorry to hear that.
They're good.
Yeah, right. Daddy goes away and comes back and gets everybody sick.
Horrible, dude. Yeah, it's I tried to distance, but it's one of those things where you're in the same house with people. That's the way it is. My wife is an educator, so we sort of the risk of bringing things home is perpetual, but we power through it. We stay healthy. Yeah. It was good to see you, man, and welcome, Alex.
Good to see you.
Man. Hey. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Alex is sick right now.
Yeah, I think
oh no, man! I'm sorry to hear that.
Been feeling like crap since about Saturday afternoon, but
who isn't sick? We're all just weird, neurotic crypto people. Just all sick, just sharing it around.
Yeah, the sleep deprivation. I couldn't sleep at altitude, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like that was the part of the downfall for me. I think. I don't know what it is. Man. I struggle with that part.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on last minute. I know.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Yeah, glad to be here, man. Thanks for having us on last minute. No idea what we'll talk about, but we'll make the most of it.
Hey, man, I just want to hear about the latest stuff you guys are up to with the NFTs and the hedgehogs. And hey, I told you I was over in Shapeshift with a marketing work stream, and we're doing some work there with the TV team. And Pete was just over the moon. He was just basically showing to everybody the hedgehog concept, and that was awesome to hear. And I wanted to learn more myself from the horse's mouth here from you guys.
Oh, that's great, man. Shapeshift's awesome. They as you know already, just from everything with like One Hive, they're just like so cool and focused on exploring new ideas and just like ways to, like, in our case, like Treasury diversification. We're just part of an ongoing conversation with them. Nothing set in stone, but Shapeshift's awesome. They're just like exploring a ton of things. Honestly, I started listening into their tokenomics chats just because I don't know. I like hoping just to pick up useful information on just like how to think about it all, because I think they have a really good structure and dialogue and process, and so I'm big fans of them. I think they're great. So it's mutual.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I guess I can tell you about like the OTC product and like why the hell is a DeFi NFT coming up in that product. You're looking. I'm on the Twitch now. You're on our landing page. Yeah.
Exactly. So landing page up here.
If I want to just like share this, like you don't know what it is. We're Hedgey. We create like financial tooling for DAOs, but we're really focused on how can DAOs that are having to like sell tokens for financing, right? Converting their native token to stablecoins. How can they do that without selling tokens on the open market, like dumping tokens or just creating liquidity, or just doing the thing they don't want to do and then do? What other options are there? We started off, I think we talked about in a previous show, our first product, which was covered calls. That was like just a way for DAOs to generate yield. That still exists, still really valuable for Treasury diversification. Again, generating stables with your tokens. But the new product fits in at a different part of the picture. It's not like a different part of the life cycle. It's just a different part of the capital you're trying to convert to from native token to stables. What this does is it takes the old idea of OTC, right? We've probably all done OTC. You maybe done it like on Discord with like some sketchy escrow that maybe worked out, maybe didn't. But like OTC also exists for like a lot of DAOs or Web3 startups. They will do a deal that's like a 30% discount with a 3-year time lock for a VC. Like that's a common deal.
Sure.
A discounted token sale, but it also has a time lock. And what that does for the DAO is it lets them generate income like today for like your runway for your next 6 months, a year, 18 months. And it also makes sure that those tokens don't just like instantly hit liquid markets.
Right.
And step further, it lets you say like, hey, you know what? Like we can actually map out how and when these hit the markets. So that's a really cool product. But like the problem is like there's 18 people here, and none of you would have access to that deal. Like some VC would, but you wouldn't. And that kind of sucks. And we've seen like DAOs and communities go against that, to where DAOs more than ever want to be building those long-term relationships with their communities or their contributors, their members, and vice versa, where the members want to participate in those same deals. Like they don't want to just, buy it on the market while somebody else is getting a sweet, deal to a token that they are long-term on. So like, how do we fix that? So we took the concept of the OTC, and we're launching, as you can kind of see on the landing page, the idea of a public OTC offering. It's a protocol. It's not custodial, nothing like that. It's where any DAO, Treasury, or anybody can go on, and you can, if you click the app, you can actually see this, T-Wells. You can come on to the protocol and you can say, I want to sell a token at this price. It can be any price. There's no oracle. It can be a discount. And I'm going to lock it for a period of time. You'll have to enter a token address if you want to show this. Sorry about that.
No, that's good, man. Did you have a specific address you wanted me to show here?
Show Honey. Yeah, show Honey. I mean,
okay.
pull up
Pull
up the Honey contract address. So look, you can come on any token on on Gnosis or other networks, and you can say, I want to sell this token at any price, and I want to have a lock of however long you want. And so let's say you want to sell $1 million at a 30% discount, locked for 6 months. You can do that, and you can just make it publicly available. Anybody can buy any amount of that OTC deal. There you go. So Honey, right? You can just start typing in numbers. I know you don't have it in your wallet, but like start typing in like 1,000 Honey, and you can basically create something that creates the ability to sell illiquid tokens outside or off market. That's really valuable for DAOs because it lets them generate income on the token, while also making sure they're not just dumping tokens onto liquid markets, while giving the community the ability to participate in these kinds of deals. That's the product at its core. I can pause there while you do this and go into like, maybe the weird hanging question of like, why does an NFT come into this? So
sure.
Click your portfolio right now if you can, T-Wells. You'll have to expand your window. Sorry, it's in a hamburger drop down right now.
Okay, let me open in a separate screen here. Just give me a sec.
Okay. And I want to show you why we have NFTs. So let's say you do this. You're a buyer. You buy one of these locked OTC deals.
All right, so I got 2 in the wallet here.
Yeah, I sent these to you, by the way.
Yes, this is
what magically appear.
Yes, yes.
So let's say you buy this. You buy a time locked OTC deal. How does that work? Like you could just have access to locked tokens, and you connect your wallet, and you see a with it. You could have some other, I don't know, like cold token. Like there's a few weird mechanics you could use for it. We use the instrument of an NFT to represent a buyer's position of a locked token.
Love it. Right.
So in this case, this is the one on the left. This NFT unlocks one house in 300 days. The one on the right, that NFT unlocks 0.1 Gnosis in 6 days. When you buy this locked OTC deal, you mint a unique NFT. It's a transferable ownership right, a transferable ownership of a unique access key. That means that if you sell this, you're selling the right to those locked tokens. And that is such a big deal. If you click that link here, the copy paste link on the bottom, and paste that into a new screen, it'll show you like the kind of shareable version of what I'm talking about. Why is this important? Well, because what we're trying to do with this is we're trying to create the ability for DAOs to raise funds while avoiding like dumping tokens on the market with time locks. For buyers, we're trying to create more flexibility because you own this NFT. You can sell this NFT, you can auction it, you can use it as collateral. It's not just an NFT, it's the right to the tokens. So in this case, if somebody buys this NFT from you in 6 days, they can just use it to get 0.1 Gnosis. That has substantial impact on the ability to have secondary markets of trading, basically liquid assets, while still protecting the underlying token.
Right.
Because it's locked. I sent you a link as well on our DMs. If you click that as well, that's an OpenSea link.
Yep. Just a second. Yep.
Just to show you what I mean by this is that like you don't need some fancy like mechanism for these to like resell them. You can go to, in this case, OpenSea. If you scroll down, you can see the items. You can go to OpenSea and you can auction one of these off. So if I, for instance, was a DAO and I wanted to auction off tokens, I could just put them in one of these NFTs and just auction it off on OpenSea. If I wanted to sell these, I can just literally come on here, offer it for sale. And you see right there in the properties, if you scroll up a bit, you see the token that's locked, the amount that are locked. That's right. And the unlock date. So what we're trying to do with these is create the idea of like a DeFi NFT. This isn't just a JPEG or a PFP JPEG. This is a financial vehicle. And so in the bigger picture, we think creating a way or democratizing access to OTC deals for DAOs and their communities and using NFTs as this vehicle for those locked positions just create something brand new that creates a lot of value potentially for DAOs and treasuries. So that's it. I'm going to stop rambling. I could just like talk nonstop, but like you're probably scratching your eyes out listening to me.
Not at all, man. No, it's so I think folks in the audience here, GM to everybody if you're with us on Discord, on Twitch. There's a lot to unpack here, I guess, sort of from the premise of just understanding the importance of the value proposition of Hedgey, like on y'all's homepage, and the importance of that. I would say particularly now, and then the way that you're sort of marrying the need to diversify Treasury holdings and reducing sell pressure, combining that with the sort of generative PFP. I don't think that's ever been done before, right? Like that's it's pretty fucking awesome.
No, not that.
Yeah, man.
That's what I know. I mean, it's a fucking weird idea, but it's one that like, we talk with you, we talk with a lot of people, we just see trends. And like, these are things people are trying to figure out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, you guys, Paul, everything you all do. I mean, you literally just have proposals around so many of these ideas already because you explore it.
I think like there's this narrative here, man, that it's so, but holding it represents like if I'm thinking about say the NFBs, right? Okay, if you had sort of that aspect that is combined with a very tangible aspect of conviction in the project that is like combined with the NFT ownership, whether it's tokens or even like liquidity, like LP positions, I think is a really compelling use case for the art too. Like I guess in a way.
I think that's interesting. I mean, we've made these flexible to where we can do any art we want, and like we're talking with some DAOs to like incorporate their art into this process. And it's not just the OTC sales. I mean, like we have some DAOs that are exploring the idea of using it for like contributor rewards to
Yeah.
basically give out rewards to people in like a visual, NFT. That maybe it's locked for a year and it has like a multiplier more than just if they were like liquid tokens. It's interesting because like that becomes something visual, right? Like the idea of a visual wallet, I think there is an element of like human behavior and how we are with like, if I had, a couple $100 in this PFP and I was really into the DAO, like I wouldn't just rush to sell it or sell a portion of it. I'd probably just leave it in like the wallet because it's like my icon.
Yeah.
Um, like this icon, like you see this Hedgey right here. That's my Twitter profile pic. I think it has like 100 uni or something in it. I'm not gonna just
Right.
like sell a couple of the uni or dump it to sell a uni because I'm gonna have to fucking burn the PFP.
Right.
So
Right.
like, I think it's interesting. It's a small detail, but I think it's fascinating one to explore.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I think if you can create a greater sense of ownership, like if you get to the point where you can use an NFT to flex like an LP position with a project you have high
Yeah.
conviction in, like that sort of changes the game in an interesting way. Honestly, like I'm sort of FOMOing here.
No, no, for sure. You can do that. I mean, I think that's one of the big things we're exploring is like, like you have this PFP that literally only exists because it has a token backing it. Like it does, you won't find one of these without that. And so like whether it's a custom skin or like an NFB, you could make these to where you see somebody with it and like they're holding, honey. And I think that's interesting because wallets are not like this visual thing. I don't think of your wallet and think of like seeing it. I just think of like a piece of a string of numbers and a balance. But in this case, you could have something where every person you see with a certain NFT is a holder of the DAO or
Yeah.
of the token. I think it's interesting. But bigger picture, I think it's all about like DAOs have real financial needs. I think One Hive talks about needing stable coins, like a lot of DAOs are starting to maybe just think about. Um, and you've definitely been ahead of the curve on that. And so, like at the end of the day, like we want to make something that lets those DAOs generate stablecoin reserves, just to be able to, be kind of more stable in volatile market conditions without dumping on the market, because no one wants that, and DAOs
Yeah.
don't, and communities don't. So we hope at the end of the day that's the primary use case for it, and this other stuff just makes it better for buyers and cooler for communities. That's it. Clicking through. You're
Yeah.
hooked now, aren't you, T Wells?
There is this interesting conversation. I need to get these links and like create a better way to source them while I'm talking live here. But there was a conversation about uh, like the value or the price of bank, right? So the Bankless DAO,
Mm-hmm.
and the sort of the contention was that here's Bankless providing all this value, for the DAO space in general, which is true. And there's like a lot of spin-offs, and so that isn't reflected in the price of Bankless, right? So there's this sort of,
Totally.
it's like this fundamentals argument, I guess, right? And the most important response in this Twitter thread, in my opinion, was somebody who's basically saying, yes, well, this is like the core dilemma, right? If you're using the token of the DAO to incentivize really meaningful contributions, you are also generating sell pressure in the process, and like that has to be recognized as an inevitability. So these tools that help to
Oh yeah.
not just alleviate. I'm thinking about the right like verb, but I feel like that's really where Hedgey sits in my mind, is like helping to solve that core issue. And I'm definitely going
No,
to think
I
about
think
ways
that's
to do this with Honeyman for sure.
I think it's super interesting. We saw weird use cases with who's brought this up.
Like
Like for
liquidity
instance,
mining almost, but with
yeah,
like a locked NFT representing your LP position, which I think maybe T-Love's
Mm.
even brought up. But I think as we get more and more people to use and dive into the products, we'll probably find out that there's use cases even beyond what we've imagined so far, that people can sort of integrate and
Yeah.
build on top of.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's interesting, and I think right now what we're focused on is trying to find what value people get out of it. So, like, what would cost someone to create an OTC pool, um, and then also exploring, what incentivizes people to buy or not buy. I think that's like an important part of this right now, which I guess goes into what you're saying, Al. What drives demand? I'd love feedback. I mean, I know we all like to listen. I know there's 17 people in the audience right now, and probably have heard us talk at nauseum before. But I'd actually just is that something we can do? You else like actually just try to pull people to talk?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hey, let's do it. If there's anybody in the audience who would like to come up on stage and ask a question, or otherwise drop
Just share a thought.
a thought, question.
Half-baked thoughts are welcome. Honestly,
Absolutely.
so tired of hearing myself talk all day. I'd love to just talk to somebody else.
Yeah, if
And
there's
Ted, of
anyone that
course,
comes up to
not
it, man.
tired of talking to you.
No, I think yeah, either way, right? People want to come up. If you rather drop a question or comment in the chat, do
Is that
that.
Miguel? Miguel wants to come up. Is that right? Miguel wants to come up.
Miguel,
Cool.
come on down. GM.
GM, hi. How are you all?
What's up? Thanks for coming up, man.
What?
Thanks for coming up.
Oh no, thanks to you. I'm outside, so if it's like outside sound, it's because of that. I just have a question. I like looking on the page of the Hedgey. Uh, when can I will mint NFT? Sorry for the noise.
No worries. I missed the last part. You said when what NFT?
When can I will mint one?
Oh, when can you mint one? So the NFTs are minted when people buy an OTC deal. So in this case, if you see those OTC deals and you buy an OTC deal, I think it's a $20 like minimum to mint like a cool NFT. Otherwise, you just get like a generic bear. But if you buy an OTC deal, you will mint an NFT. Like the NFTs aren't some like a novel thing, or it's not a mint drop. We're not like selling NFTs. They like literally exist only when you buy locked tokens. And so if you buy a locked token deal, you will have an NFT. And that NFT will represent access to those tokens you bought.
Okay, that's very cool. I have never like seen something like this, so it's like kind of new for me.
That's great feedback though, because we're always exploring like where people get broken down. I think you're right. It is a new concept. So a lot of people think it's like, what the fuck are NFTs doing here? How do I mint one? And not drawing the relationship between you buy a locked OTC deal, it mints an NFT. That NFT is your deal. If you sell that deal, sell that NFT, you sell your deal. But if you buy a locked position, you get an NFT. Cool.
Yeah, we could even do one on screen here if you're following on Twitch, Miguel, and anybody else in the audience. We can sort of show you here. They got you go to app.hedgey.finance, connect your wallet, and you'll see that there are. It looks like there are 4 networks. Is that right, Hedgey? Right? I'm looking at your avatar.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 8 or 10, but it just shows the ones that have deals live on them.
Right. Got it. So like you could go, Miguel, right now and buy what is this uni tokens on Polygon, if you wanted to, and then we'll show you here if you're looking on Twitch, folks. It sort of comes up with all the information that you need on the module there. It seems, Lindsay, like and Alex, a trick here is to enable the auction. Well, I don't know. I guess like the extent to which you want to enable the auction to be flexible in price. I mean, like right now, right? You see a situation where you be buying it above the current market price because we're
Yeah.
dumping. Like how do you think about that from the auctioneer's perspective? I don't know.
Well, so in it's different than an auction that you're not paying the highest price from
Right,
buyers.
right.
But what they're typically doing is, or what people are typically doing is selling it at a discount for a short period of time. Like we've wanted just to highlight these. So it's fine that these are up for a long period of time. But typically, like you might have a community saying, like, look, we're going to have this open for 4 days. You can buy at this price for whatever, or 2 days or 3 days or whatever. And so for the seller, it's just constantly knowing like what price they want to sell it at and adjusting it based on that price.
Right, right.
It would be hard to make it like responsive to price, because then you could just have like weird
No,
shenanigans happen.
Oh yeah.
Like
Well, and I mean right
that.
now, yeah.
I just
Right,
don't
it
want to
would.
open with that can of worms.
And you could
Yeah.
you could
Well, and
easily
this is
pump,
also
right?
more,
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
sort of like a premeditated thing, where
Yeah.
we imagine, and to be honest, we have, we'll learn a lot over the next couple weeks and months, but we imagine like with Shapeshift, for example, they would sort of already agree either through a proposal or through a general sentiment, we're going to sell X amount of tokens at this price. And so it's sort of transparent and well known, and that price may be higher or lower, than the current market price, which obviously fluctuates. But in theory, it's sort of like everyone is on board with that price when they establish it.
Yeah.
Right on.
And so I would say these are just sort of examples that are on there right now, which were priced probably reasonably at the time, but given everything over the last couple of days, have fallen
I
out of
will
style.
add, there's other use cases which I'm curious to see what people think as well. The public OTC is obviously we're focused on, but this is an OTC product.
Having a little trouble hearing you, Lindsay.
He's saying this is an OTC product where, we've heard uh, some asks for this from other projects where they have whales that have like, big amounts of tokens that are looking to offset without actually, dumping it into the market.
Right.
And so you don't have to lock up the tokens, right? It could be something like, we just agree that I need to offload, 200 honey, but I don't want to affect the liquidity in the market. And I found, you as a buyer or publicly enough buyers to sort of buy that.
Or you just don't want to use an escrow. You just want to like
Well, that's what I mean.
not trust, random Joe and Telegram. You can just use it for a peer-to-peer OTC product. No NFT.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm breaking up, but yeah.
No, I can hear you much better now. Well, and this is on the other hand, it was like when and sort of back to Shapeshift for a second. I know they have, as an example, and I know other DAOs have this similar characteristic, which is they have some community members that are already doing a good amount of like art and creative expression, I guess. And I know in the case of Shapeshift, they have LunaFox, which has done a couple NFT runs to literally raise funds for the Shapeshift Treasury. And so like if there are DAOs that have folks that want to either collaborate or plug in some of their own artwork, that's a possibility too, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were going to be taking that.
I wasn't sure, like, if that's, I was curious to know, like, the flexibility on the art side, like, if a DAO wanted to use this as a tool for treasury management, it's like, we have this.
Sure. Yeah. So we've already spoken with a couple of DAOs. I don't want to share the visuals or be like spoiling something that's not like announced yet. But we do have DAOs that, like, for instance, wanted to just have with their logo.
Right.
So it's just like a wild looking, logo heavy version of the hedgehog for that. but it's fully flexible in that, like, if we find demand of people wanting to like use their custom art for their DAO, and there's a way to still like see that this is like a hedgy deal, 100% capable of doing that. Just to make it something that's like successful and willing to do, I guess, for our early partners, and people using the protocol, I should say, rather than partners. Just to make it fun. Like, that's the thing we need. I know we have like 15 people here listening to this. Like, we want to like have conversations with projects and DAOs. I mean, this is something that every project and DAO is talking about internally, at least. And so I think it's important to have those conversations. And so, like, there's 15 people here. Like, if you can do one thing, like, just talk about this with like other project DAOs are in and see what they're doing. And yes, like, Hedgey is a permissionless protocol. You can use it as a DAO to do this today. I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking
folks.
about.
I mean, Hedgey.Finance, at Hedgey.Finance on Twitter. Definitely follow. It's on screen right now, and the links to the site and to the docs, I believe, are in the One Hive TV channel here on the Discord if you're joining us here. So definitely click in those, share
Pushing
those
that
links, man.
volume.
Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Ted.
Hey, man, I
Look,
think
dude,
it's true that people are arriving at this. I think this is an idea whose time has come. And so, I mean, I'm highly biased, man, but like,
no, I mean, look, we're all in, like, I mean, I've been in a ton of communities. I'm not just talking about like my own, but like, this is shit that, like, you have to be talking about as a community. And it's not like this like taboo subject to be like, hey, like, how much like stable coins do we have, and like, what are we doing to make sure that we have like 6 months of runway in the treasury? Like, I mean, like, that's stuff that like you're putting your time and energy. We all are. So it's conversations to have. Like One Hive is amazing at having those conversations, like the proposals and everything. And if you're in a project that's not doing that, this isn't about using Hedgey, but just like, you have to know, like, hey, how are we going to be open in 6 months? Are we just going to give out tokens? Like, what if the token price drops in half from here? Does that mean we just give out twice as much? And does that just accelerate the decline in the price? Anyways, I think it's important stuff to have a conversation around, something we do for sure with those conversations. I'm looking to talk to more projects about it. So if you talk to a project and they don't have a good answer, you should talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like DAOs that are if you're here looking for alpha, folks. I mean, this is not financial advice, but like, my feeling is just looking at this. The early adopters of this are thinking about important things. Like, if you want a fundamentals indicator, I feel like people who are adopting this type of tool are thinking ahead of others. That's just my position. So. Maybe that's alpha
agree.
on their token, right? I don't know, Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, totally. We were actually talking with a group Maltese earlier, and I mean, obviously, we've had several conversations on the Treasury side of things, and using our covered calls product pretty successfully thus far, I think. And most projects don't even want to think about Treasury management, until they get to a certain point. And I think finding those early stage projects that do actually prioritize it, not as something that they should prioritize over building, but just as like a core piece of fundamental DAO management of like, all right, let's make sure that we don't overlook everything and get our finances in order so that we can actually focus on building. And that's not like the financials aren't going to hold us back. I think finding projects that can like set themselves up for just getting the basics right on their treasury and financial reporting at first can then really, really tackle and focus on building, because at the end of the day, like, treasury management like is fun for those who are interested in treasury, but for most people it's boring, and it should be boring, right? Because you want to like not worry that you're going to run out of money. You want like that to sort of be
it's not boring for the people who have to worry about that stuff.
Right.
For the operators, that shit ain't boring.
It's super fun. Yeah, for sure. But for the for everyone else, you're like, I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that I can pay it. Or like I can keep building.
Of course. Yeah.
Most
100%, man.
important question: when are we going to get one of these NFBs combined with a Hedgey? I see. Is it I don't know,
Billy
I don't
in
know how
with
to
us
say
at the
here.
moment, but
Yeah.
you got to
Oh, I
talk to
saw
Billy.
somebody else in
There
here
are some
as
other people
well.
here. 0.8's here. I know he was.
NFT designer. Who's it? Rohik
Yeah,
Benitez.
Rohak. Yeah, Rohak.
Rohik. Anyways, we should talk about that. That'd be dope.
Indeed. Let's see. Let's get 0.8
Dude.
up here for a second. If you guys are, can you guys stick around for a bit, or how you feeling?
Yeah, whatever. Good with me. You're the guy who's been up here for 2.5 hours.
Maybe just trucking.
I don't know what you run on.
I got to ask you about multis. I think I saw from the Hedgey Twitter that there was some connectivity going there, and would love to hear more about their
awesome.
stuff and how you plug in with them. But I think 0.8's got 0.8 was one of the contributors for the NFB, and he's got one as his avatar, right, man? How you doing, 0.8? GM, man.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Hello, everyone. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey,
Thanks for joining.
Hey.
Yeah, GM. How are you? I just listened. You were talking about Hedgey.Finance, right?
Yep.
I was just trying to be sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's us. Hedgey.Finance. You're at Gitcoin down. Is that right?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm also a contributor in OneHive. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I see
Before
the
life.
visionary NFB at
Yeah.
OneHive and Gitcoin, and sorry, I was just stalking you through your your bio.
No problem. I'm very. If somebody stalks me, I'm like flattered.
That's awesome, man. That's great. Yeah. Thanks for jumping up.
Do you have?
Jumping up?
I mean, Zeri, do you think there are a couple of y'all that did design work for the NFBs? Do you guys have I know Rohek. When I'm looking at least the folks here with us on Discord, do you have an interest in chatting about doing an OTC? Like basically, would you guys be interested in having some art featured? Or is this what you're asking? I want to make sure I'm asking the right question, Lindsay. That's for you.
I'm just
Like,
interested.
I want to collab
In
on
the
it.
NFTs. Yeah, I don't know. It's mostly just like a fun kind of project. Like as we explore like Hedgey's rolling out, I'm just interested in. I don't even have a finite detail or idea yet, but just of like, as I look at the NFTs marketplace or the site, just how I don't know if there's an interest in that art collaborating somehow, or maybe that's a down the road kind of item.
I'm wondering that this might be an interesting V2 though, because it's like, you already have this ecosystem of contributors to the artwork. If we're being frank, one of the challenges was incentivizing continued interest and contributions to the project. So like if there's a way to build on those existing art connections to then do a V2 that represents treasury management for all these connected projects, that seems like a pretty interesting opportunity. I know Billy might have some additional insights on that, but he is touch and go due to his full-time work.
No worries.
So what's the question again? Can we?
I don't know what the question is. We'll figure it out.
I don't think there is a question. I just wanted to touch base with you to as we start to roll these out, maybe in Gnosis and OneHive ecosystem, maybe there's something fun we can do with some of the art and some of the Hedgey stuff.
We're just talking
kind of my
loud.
magic touch in this project, like besides a couple of B designs, was the I could call it product strategy, because we've built the project Billy mostly because he's the dev, but this is my biggest contribution, this DAO connection type NFT project that I really wanted to reach out to the most inclusive, I could call them DAOs that are also that were kind of developed and friends with One Hive, and we wanted to collaborate in a different way and see like how it works out. And like this was all an experiment, and it worked well. The artists were paid well. They
Yeah.
trusted us. They didn't receive like they only got like $50 up front. Like they trusted us, uh, and we build on their art. And yeah, it, it was just this is just an experiment, but it's still ongoing. So we would like to make it bigger or like go more deep in some situations with this
Yeah, man.
experimentation.
Yeah, let's do it. That's great, man. Great. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, guys, I think there's some interesting ways maybe to build on those partnerships and the artwork. But yeah, is there anything else that you guys wanted to share out here? Anything coming down the pike that people should be aware of?
You know what? It's really just about. I mean, as with everything, we pushed this live. We want to explore it in the wild over the next several weeks. So, I mean, like, obviously, I think when we start to go into like the One Hive ecosystem a bit with this, we'll have some like things to actually explore. Like once like some honey is live on this, but I also just think like just thinking through like how this can be used, because it's a very like malleable product in some ways, and it can be used for a lot of different ways. So I don't know, Ted. Like I think half of what I want to do is just like play around and think of like weird shit we can do with this protocol over the next month.
Oh yeah.
That's it. That's all I got. You got it.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? You guys are. What's the easiest way for people to follow you guys on Twitter? I think you also are doing more the Twitter Spaces. Are you doing that on like a regular basis now, or?
Yeah, we're gonna start it on Friday. I'm trying to pick up some Ted vibes or some T-Well vibes there. You know, trying to just get your energy and just talk. But those are pretty small. I think following us on Twitter is obviously the best thing to do. But also, I mean, we're chatting in a lot of the same spaces with each other. So you know, we can just keep that going as well.
Right on, guys. Well, it's always great to chat with you all, and we'll have to, retweet and direct people to any of that other content there. GM to everybody for joining us today. It's been great to see folks here in the Discord on Twitch. Again, once as a reminder, we'll be switching over to YouTube next week. So keep an eye out for that, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody next Monday. We got another NFT feature on Wednesday, and then I think we're going to be having trivia this Friday. I got to confirm that, but we'll have to figure that out. Maybe we can find a way to do a trivia that, I don't know, collabs people who have got these OTC pools on Hedgey, and just do a big collab trivia at some point.
Yeah.
We could do it up, guys, if
Oh, let's do it. I would love to load you up, Ted, with some R2Ls with some NFTs, like some honey NFTs. Give them away.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, we should do that. Actually, I don't know why we don't. We can just like sponsor it or something. Just give you a bunch of honey NFTs. You can just give to random people who show up.
Yeah, I mean it's like if trivia is a hell of a lot of fun. Like I always have fun. People learn shit, and like we get to have fun time together, educating people. The rewards, I think, I don't want to think narrowly about it. I mean, we had sort of like crypto as like a pot, but if we want to showcase a different piece of technology, we could make that the rewards. Anyways, I'm open to any suggestions. We can try to make something happen.
Dude, you could. I know we're at the tail end of this. I can't even share it. But you like in your portfolio, for instance, you could just have like 20 token NFTs for whatever project is on lock for like 6 months or a year, and just hand them out as like rewards for people who get it right. Like pretty simple.
Right? Yeah, no, exactly. And you can, it's cool to like sort of showcase the rewards here ahead of time, and yeah, you get some good
Yeah,
interest around that. Let's think on that.
we'll talk about that. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool.
Right on, everybody. Well, it's good to chat with you guys. I'm gonna sit down before I fall over here. 2.5 hours. I don't know if it's a new record.
I don't know how you do it, man.
Hey, you know.
Jesus, you're on a marathon. You're like doing a filibuster.
Oh, fuck me. I sure as shit hope not a filibuster. Oh, God.
Great tunes, by the way.
Hey, thanks, man.
That's great.
We got to get a playlist of people who want to hear it. Yeah, we share a
I know,
spreadsheet.
man.
Get a good intermission playlist going from people who want to drop ideas for tunes.
Super down for that. By what?
Cheers, guys. Y'all have a great week, and jam to everybody
Cheers.
who joined us today as well. And we'll see you all soon.
Awesome.
See you soon, man.
Great week,
Later
everyone.
on.
Bye bye.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Peace,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.